Good evening, YouTube. Tonight we're gonna do a review of the President Randy II. President Randy II. We're gonna do a range test. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go out and see how far I can talk from the President Randy to the base station. So we'll see how many miles we can get off that. I'm gonna try to go President Randy to President Randy. We'll see how far we can get with that. I'm gonna show you all the features on this radio. I'm going to show you the wattage. We'll test it and see what kind of wattage it puts out. And I'll tell you about the President Randy. So grab some popcorn. This, according to the box, engineered to be the very best. Is it the best? I don't know. It's good. No, it's good. It's good. It's hands down the best handheld CB I own. It really is an unbelievable handheld CB. It's just, I can't get used to it. I like the old traditional ones. This has got so much electronics and so much stuff that it's hard for me to embrace all this new technology. And it's $165 brand new. The other radios I can buy, $79. But then again, the other radios I have to buy rechargeable batteries and a rechargeable battery charger, and charge them up, and I have to keep taking the batteries in and out of the radios to charge them up. This has a rechargeable battery built into it. It charges in 2 hours. All my nickel metal hydrate batteries, they take like 12 to 16 hours to charge. This thing, hour and a half. This thing charges incredibly fast. Battery lasts and lasts and lasts. So yeah, it's really good. So the box says it's made to be the best. It is. It really is. President always made some great stuff. The CB in my pickup truck is a President. I bought that CB brand new in 1989. 1989, I use it daily. I've never had it apart. I've never had it repaired. Never had it repaired. Never had it worked on. Never had it opened up. 1989 to now, I talk all over the country. I've actually gone on AM. I can go. I've done 15 and 16. I've got another video that shows me doing 16 miles in a terrible conditions. I've got another video that shows me going 20 miles. In the middle of the night, I went out. It was quiet, dead quiet. Went 20 miles with that CB. President makes the best stuff. So yeah, this is really good. This has AM and FM. That's great. I don't use FM, but it is nice to have it, and it's crystal clear. And if you had two of these, awesome. So, and talking about professional, as soon as I saw this thing just looks absolutely professional. Feels it's light, it's lightweight, it's tiny. I mean, my God, I can put it in my shirt pocket. The old radios are the size of a brick. They weigh as much as a brick. Even the new radios that you buy today are probably a lot bigger than this, a lot heavier than this. And they don't have FM. They don't have half the features. So this is $165. With all you get for $165, it's worth every penny. The other handheld CBs can't hold a candle to it. I still like some of the other handheld radios, but nothing holds a candle to this one. Absolutely nothing. I was in the service. Any police car, fire truck, ambulance, when you see their professional radios, they have to depend on that with their lives. When you get in there and you turn it on, it always plays all kinds of music and sounds and everything. That's just what the professional radios do. So when I got this, it plays that noise just like all the professional radios do. I was pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed with it. It seems to do pretty well on that. This radio has a compander. I didn't even know what a compander is. I had to look it up. So what a compander does is it compresses your voice on this radio, and then you have to talk to another President Randy. So if you're talking to a President Randy and both have the compander turned on, so this one will compress it, and the other radio will decompress it. So when your voice is going through the ears, it's kind of getting jumbled up, and your voice is getting a little jumbled up and it's not as clear and crystal clear and all that. Well, like I say, with that compander, now nobody else will be able to hear you, or if they do, it'll sound weird. But yeah, you can talk handheld radio to handheld radio, or I think you can do the presidents in their regular any radio with a compander. I think you can talk compander to compander as long as you have them both turned on. Nobody else will be able to understand what you're talking about. Now I did that. I've never seen such a thing. So I actually put it on FM the other day, and I took it out with the compander turned on, and I went walkie-talkie to walkie-talkie. And my truck, that 1989 President, I have FM on my truck. 1989 President made FM. Can you believe it? So I turned my truck on FM. I think that's the first time I ever used FM on the truck. And I was talking to the little handheld, and I don't have a compander on my truck, but it still picked it up fine. I could talk back and forth fine. So, but they say if you have the compander turned on, other people won't be able to talk. It'll only be the two radios that are turned on to compander. Again, unbelievable stuff. This has a high cut. No, handheld CBs don't have high cut. Only a very expensive mobile unit or a very expensive base station. This also has automatic noise limiter, which is great in a car. All cars make a little bit of static and noise. You're trying to get rid of that. This has automatic noise limiter. This also has noise blanker. Wow, it's got it all. It's got auto scan. It really is. You get your money's worth. So it's a very expensive radio, but you certainly get your money's worth. Look at that. It's picking up most handhelds, especially with the, and I'm on channel 31. Oh, I'll have to get rid of 31. Most handhelds with a little rubber duck antenna don't pick up very well at all. This really receives incredibly well. It's got a flashlight. Now that is a base, that flashlight is just a regular flashlight. Then, if you want, you can turn the flashlight on to fast. So say the helicopters are searching for you. That's great. Now you can leave this on, and it's telling the helicopters, hey, here I am, here I am. Or, it's even got a third one. This is SOS. So this is actually 3 short flashes, 3 long flashes, 3 short. So it's SOS on the flashlight. Incredible stuff. It really is incredible stuff. You can use this in your car. If you use it in your car, it comes with this little charging block. All right. This little charging block's got a couple little tabs. You just walk it on the bottom of the radio. And you can charge it. This goes in your wall plug. Like I said, I can get more than a day out of the battery. I plug that in there, and now a little red light will light up here, and it's charging. It'll show me where the 3 battery bars are. It'll show me charging, so I know I'm charging it. That's great, easy, very easy to recharge the battery. It also comes, which is awesome. This thing is engineered to be the best, and they give you everything. They do everything they can possibly do to make this a perfect experience for you. This president, I got to give him credit. This president is really incredible. So they give you a cigarette lighter plug. So you can plug this in the cigarette lighter, plug it in the bottom. It'll charge the battery, and you can use it in your mobile. Great. So now you can use this in your mobile, plugged in there. They also, if you're trying to use this in a car, you can't use the rubber duck antenna inside of a car. It will not work. When you get inside of a car, it's all metal. You're like inside of a metal cage. Metal cage, Mr. Faraday, a scientist, figured out radio signals will not go in or out of a metal cage. So they call it a Faraday cage because he figured this out. But I see it all the time. Guys will get on Amazon or wherever, and they're reviewing it. And they go, what a piece of junk. That radio wouldn't go more than 50 feet. Well, if you've got the rubber duck antenna, inside of a car, nothing goes in or out of a car. If you're standing on the side of the road, you might get a mile, 1 mile to another President Randy. But inside of a car, forget it. So what they do is they give you, again, they give you the clip. Most companies won't give you the clip. Most won't give you this adapter. They give you this adapter that you can screw on the top of the President Randy. Now, you take the rubber duck off. Now you can go out and buy a CB antenna. I like a Tram 3500. You want one that's at least 5 feet tall. If you get a 5 foot tall CB antenna, it'll do great. You can do 7 to 10 miles, roughly. You know, every day is different. Some days you're lucky to go miles. Other days you can go 12 or 14. But my Tram 3500 does incredible. And it's $59 at Amazon, $59.99. Can't beat that. So now you can put that right on here, and you can actually use this as a mobile. The other nice thing about Randy, so this, like I say, the President really engineered this well. They put a microphone knob on the back of it, and it comes. This is all the gear they give you, but it has a microphone clip. So they give you this. They give you a microphone clip, and all you have to do is find some spot on your dashboard, screw it to the dashboard. Then that little knob, you just drop it down like a microphone, and it sits on your dash. With this beautiful display, you can see the display. So you can see if somebody's calling, talking to you. You can tell how well they're doing, and you can just pick it up and talk to them, or hang it back on the dashboard. So you can really use this as a mobile CB, and it's got everything under the sun. It's got more stuff than I probably know what it does. And you can actually configure this so the display will stay on when you're in your vehicle. So if you have it in your display, if you have it on, you can either turn the display on. It's kind of a funky way of doing it. You have to turn it on and off and go through this stuff. But you read the instructions, or there's a couple of YouTube videos on how to do it. But yeah, the display can either stay on, or when you press the microphone, it'll turn on. Now, as I said, you can't use this rubber duck inside of a vehicle. I love doing these range tests, so I go out and I do range tests on these all the time, see how far I can go from a base station to the handheld. Sometimes now every radio I do, I try to go from handheld to see how far they go. The rubber duck, you probably get a mile. Again, it depends on the day. Every day is different. But when I retired, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with myself. I love these handheld radios. I do love these things. I was happening to watching YouTube, and there's a guy, Max Public Land Hunting and Outdoors. Wow, he is brilliant. He knows what he's talking about with these handheld radios. So he's made a ton of videos on them. And about 2 or 3 years ago, Cobra made an extended long-range antenna. I think it was like 3 feet long. It was telescoping, and it was like 3 feet long, and it was much better than the rubber duck. So he reviewed that and did it. And don't ask me how this guy Max, so it's Max Public Land Hunting and Outdoors, he actually became a friend of mine. He's a great guy, absolutely great guy, became a good friend, and he's taught me a lot on radios, taught me a lot, and he's the guy that figured out this HYS antenna. You can buy this HYS antenna off of Amazon for $16.99, pretty dirt cheap. So again, Max Public Land and Hunting, Max Public Land Hunting and Outdoors, he took the Cobra extended range, long range antenna, the rubber duck, and this HYS. They used to call him High Shrieker. And I think Americans couldn't say the name, so they dropped High Shrieker. Now they call it an HYS. So anyhow, he went out, and this HYS antenna is 51 inches long. I can touch the second floor. This thing is massive, massive. This is bigger than the old Radio Shack antennas. It's got a base loaded, so it's base loaded, 51 inches. The difference is night and day. Absolutely different, night and day difference. So he went out and just absolutely blew away the rubber duck antenna. I was so impressed with his videos that I started doing them. And of course, I started buying these HYS antennas. He can go, I've taken these out. Now I try to go out on a clear day. Some days you get a lot of static, a lot of noise, a lot of background noise during the day. But if it's quiet, I've gone out 2, and actually you'll see on the range test, I think I went out 3 miles. 3 miles was a little staticky. Not really willing to work with 3 miles, but it did 3 miles, and it did 2. 2, no problem. I could talk back and forth between 2 of these radios with this HYS antenna. Really great. Really great antenna. So I have also gone out. I was curious what the best radio was. When I was getting, when I retired, I wanted to build an emergency compound. I wanted to have a lot of CB handhelds in case the world ever ends or whatever. I want to have security and hunting parties and people monitoring things and checking, watching this secure. Anyhow, I wanted a few of these, so I wanted to try to get the best. I figured the Randy would be the best, so I bought 4 of them. And after I bought 4 of them, I actually went out 2 or 3 times with all the other radios, and it's a great radio. It's absolutely fantastic, hands down the best radio there is. But it got the same range. If you're putting out the same power as all the other ones, they all put out 4 watts. If you're putting out the same wattage as the other radios, and I use the HYS antenna, because you get double and triple the range with this big antenna. So if every radio, and I bought them all the radios you can buy in 2025, the Cobra HH50, the Midland 75 822, the Uniden 501 Pro, the Uniden 401 Pro, the Uniden 538, the President Randy, all the ones you can buy in 2025, I took them all out and I used the same antenna on all of them, and they all got the same range. So I went out. I had to do it quiet. I was trying to get a nice, noisy, noise-free night where there wasn't a lot of static on the radio. So I had to actually go out at 11 o'clock at night. At 11 o'clock at night, I went out 4 miles. I didn't think I could really do 4 miles. 4 miles with this telescoping antenna, pretty damn good. I wasn't sure if I could do it or not. I did it. It made it 4 miles. I brought all the brand new radios you can buy, and I brought a whole bunch of old ones, all the old Radio Shacks. I tried them all from 4 miles. They all worked, and they worked good. They gave me a signal strength number 7, which is phenomenal. I wished I had gone out 5 miles or 6 miles. So another night, and actually when I went, I said, oh, this will never happen again. This will never happen again in history. To go 4 miles on a handheld is incredible. And I'm out in the middle of the woods. I've just got hundreds and hundreds of acres of woods all around me. People are always getting lost here. This is why I like these things. I always carry a walkie-talkie when I go out in the woods because there's nothing but woods for miles out here. So to go through all those woods and get 4 miles was absolutely incredible. And I actually wound up going out a couple of months later, and I wanted to see if I could do it again. Oh yeah, I did it again. I think I could have even got 6 miles. Someday I'm going to try. Someday I'll go out 4.5, 5.5, 6, maybe even 6.5, and I'll see what I can do. But I know on a good night, like 11 o'clock at night, this will go 4 miles, which is absolutely incredible. Speaking of going out in the woods all the time, so I'm used to all my radios have a belt clip. This doesn't have a belt clip. It's made to go on a microphone clip. So, President, engineer, fantastic engineering. They've got this belt clip that goes on your belt. It actually, I don't know if you can see that. actually has a hook. That hook goes under your belt, and God help you to get that off, because once it's on your belt, you ain't getting that off. That really locks on. So to put it on, you actually go upside down. You have to, when I first did it, I had to use the strength of a gorilla to get it in there, and it sounded like it was going to break. And it'll click in. After I did it 5 or 6 times, it kind of broke in. But when it was new, it was very difficult. So now that's on my, this goes on my belt, and I can just leave the little duck antenna. And I like to leave it on channel 9 if there's an emergency or something. I'll know, and people can get a hold of me from my base if they need to. Years ago, we didn't have cell service out here. It was just nothing but woods. They weren't going to bother to put a cell tower. There's more squirrels than people out here. So they weren't going to bother putting a cell tower. So these were great for people going out to the lake or out to the rivers or whatever. And finally, I think a few years ago, we got a cell tower. So now I really don't need this anymore. So I put this on my backpack or on my belt. It'll swing around in circles like that. If you tried to get this off, never. You'll never push this off no matter what you do. This thing is locked on there, frozen. So all you do is just tip it upside down and it comes right off. Brilliant. The President really did a nice job. So I'm going to show you the features. I'm going to show you the features next, and then we'll show you the power. We'll see what kind of power this puts out. And then I'm going to go out and we'll try to test it from 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, and 4 miles, and see how far we can go and talk to the base station. Then, because I have 4 of them, what I did is I took this HYS antenna, the big tall antenna. I set this outside, and I just turned it on. And then I took another one with the HY. I think I brought a telescoping antenna and the rubber duck, and I went out 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 3.5, and 4, and we'll see how it does on all that. So hang on, and we'll see how it does. One more thing, talk about engineered to be the best, President. They use a TNC connector. Almost all the walkie-talkies, all the handheld CBs today, they use a BNC connector. And a BNC connector is a little piece like this. It has a little tab on each side. And then the antenna slides over the tab and snaps on those with like a little spring. The spring gets loose. Every one of my BNC connectors, they kind of rock back and forth. And how they work is your antenna has a little pin inside, and inside the inside the handheld, there are four fingers, and those fingers grab that pin, make a nice tight connector. Well, the BNC connectors, like I said, they have a spring on it. They basically just push down on the spring, and then those 2 little tabs hold it in place. After 2 or 3 weeks, if you're using it, the BNC connectors, they start wobbling around. They work, but they're not great. President uses a TNC connector. You still have the 4 little fingers in there. You still have the little pin on the antenna. But what you do with this is you push the pin in, and after you push the pin in, you screw it tight. Once you screw that on, this thing's like solid as a rock. There's no way you're gonna disturb that. So now that antenna is locked on here. So just another thing that Randy did. They absolutely thought of everything when they made this handheld CB. Okay, we'll take a look at the power test next, or features next. Okay, the features. On the top of this, it's got the flashlight. You got the flashlight. You got on and off, and volume. On, off, volume. On the side, you have push to talk. Now, underneath the push to talk, I'm not overly crazy about this little tiny button. This little tiny button right here, it's so close to the push to talk, I'm always afraid I'm going to turn it. That's the power button. So when I turn it, you see right here, right there, it says L. L's for low power. If I press it again, now we're on high power. Under that is the squelch. And it says SQL, squelch for 22. I can go up to 34. 34 is the last of it. And then if you go again, you get to off. All right. I'll be honest, the squelch doesn't seem to work on any of these for me. I can go right down to like number 1. Tonight, it's actually working pretty good. But most times I can go to 1 or 2 and it doesn't make any noise. Don't ask me why. Like you say, this newfangled stuff, maybe it's too complicated for me. All right. Here's that AM and FM. You can see the FM up here. AM. Now it says BP. That's beep. I like the beep. So when I change channels, you can hear it beep. So that's all that is. Then we have automatic noise blanker. So right here is the automatic noise blanker. I shut that off, and the noise blanker got shut off at the same time. There's automatic noise blanker. You can see it shows it right there. There's noise blanker. And there's the 2 of them. Now, if I hold it and press it for a few seconds, the high cut shuts off. Or if I press it and hold it, the high cut turns back on. The great thing with Randy, a lot of guys, they use the channels, like we're on channel 32, but a lot of guys like to know the frequency. And the old timers, they could tell you the frequency of every single channel. They don't want to know the channel number. They go by the frequency. I'll never be able to learn 40 of them. But that's okay. I don't need to. All right, so that's AM, FM. That's the noise blanket. This is monitor. All right, so if you needed to say turn the squelch down all the way and actually listen to somebody, this button that says MON, brilliant. Again, President really did a nice job. I can just hit monitor, and now that turns the squelch all the way. And when you're receiving, you get a green light up here. The green light, when you're not receiving anything, there's no green light. So if I'm trying to talk to somebody and they're kind of way far away and I can't seem to hear them, I can actually hit monitor, and that'll let all the static, it'll let everything in so I can hear it. All right, this button up and down is just channel. You got Vox, so Vox is just hands-free. This is the weather channel. That's number 1. Usually I can hear 1 pretty good. But I'm not hearing 1 too good tonight. Yep. So when you get it on there, you can go 2, 3. 3 usually works pretty good. I don't know why I'm not hearing anything. Odd. Anyhow, it must be just because it's sitting on the workbench. If I was to hold it up. Don't ask me, but the weather channels usually work very well. Now, this has scan. So I can put it on scan. It scans all the channels. $165 for this radio. This has skip scan. Just having skip scan is worth $165. Everybody knows Channel 6 is the Super Bowl. Channel 6 is just so annoying, and Channel 9 is the Puerto Rican Super Bowl, which comes up here all the time. The Super Bowl, if you don't know, is just guys with 10,000 watts, and they're just playing, showing off how powerful their systems are, which it's amazing what they can do. Absolutely amazing what they can do. So I'm not making fun of those guys at all. They can do some incredible, incredible things. But if I set this on my coffee table on scan, it will stop on Channel 6. It will stop on Channel 9, the Puerto Rican Super Bowl. And then there were so many people getting into it that they took Channel 11, and that's Super Bowl Part 2. Again, all these guys showing off that they have 10,000 watts and they can talk all across the country. But if you're on scan, it's just going to keep stopping. So when it stops, let me see. Let me get it on 6. I think I have to be in scan. So let me get it off a monitor, get it back to scan, and I'm going to turn the squelch down. All right. All right. Now we've got that stopped on channel 6. Say I want to skip that. I press the scan button for 1 or 2 seconds, and it will skip that channel from now on. Great. Now we went to 8, 9. Can't get it to stay on 9. That's fine. 11. I think I may have them already programmed. I think I may have that already programmed in. So now when it's scanning, we're going to see it come 2, 3, 4, 5 to 7. And yep, and it went to 8 to 10 and 10 to 12. So it no longer scans channel 6, 9, and 11. So I can just leave this on the coffee table with this HYS antenna. And if anybody's, whatever, in 2 or 3 miles from me, I'm going to pick them up. Whereas before, with that foolish channel 6, 9, and 11, this is the only radio that I know that has skip scan. Really like that skip scan. We have dual watch. So if I want 2 different channels, so say I wanted to monitor my local channel, which is 27, and sometimes I like to monitor channel 19 and see what's going on in channel 19. I can put it on dual watch, and it'll just toggle back and forth between the 2 channels I have set up. It has emergency. Now, these emergency channels, I can change to whatever I want. Right now, I have 17 and 19. And then it goes back to the channel it was on, which was channel 7. So those are the features of it. Again, if you wanted to, this is menu. You press the Vox for 2 seconds. And there's Roger beep. So you have 7 different Roger beeps. Let's try one. Roger beep. Hit monitor to activate it. That's what number 2 sounds like. That's what 3 sounds like. Off. That's what number 1 sounds like. I keep them off. I hate Roger beep. All right, so that's Roger beep. That's key beep. I like the key beep. So when I press something, because I'm always hitting something by accident, so I like to have the little beeping noise. Eco mode. It's supposed to save your batteries. There's actually 3 different eco modes to save your battery. It came preset on number 2. I just leave it on number 2. Tone, so I can set the tone, make it sound a little deeper. Emergency setting, I can set up whatever channel I want to. When I press the emergency button, I get 17. Vox setting, dual watch is set for 9, and who knows. Scan skip is off right now. I can reset it all. There's the colors. If I wanted to do the colors, there's my green, and like I say, green really looks good. Easy to see green. Blue hurts your eyes. I think blue actually burns your eyes, they say. That's I think it's crayon or something. That's yellow. I don't know. Purple. I forget what they call that. Orange and green again. So to press it, so I just hit monitor. I hit menu again to lock it in. Roger beep. And now we're back. So that's all the those are all the settings. Can't beat everything. All right, so let me get my power meter out, and we'll turn it on and see what kind of power this thing does. Okay, I forgot to show you a couple of things. All right, that compander, see right here down here, it says it looks like a CD or maybe a GD. I guess CD. That's the compander. So you press and hold that. All right. You see that little emblem? Looks like a C and a D. That's the compander. All right. So as long as you have both radios to that, it's supposed to make it a little better. That's mostly for like little handhelds that work with repeaters. Most of the little bow things and all those things have that compander, and they use them and love them. I can't believe Randy has it, but they do. So I never. I tried it one time. Can't say I was impressed with it. I doubt I'll ever try it again. I actually tried FM, and I can't even say I was impressed with FM. This also there's two buttons here for the squelch to go up and down. If you press both buttons together, let's see here. There we go. We got the automatic squelch. So now it's supposed to do all the adjusting of the squelch automatically. So that's the auto squelch. So it's probably got another 50 things in here that I don't even know about, but it's got a ton of stuff. So I just thought I'd show you everything that I know. If it has more stuff, leave me a comment. One more feature on this radio, it's got a noise gate. Never even heard of a noise gate before. What you do is you press the push to talk, and you press the Vox. So you push to talk, Vox. Now, did you see this little emblem right here light up? Looks like an A. I don't know what it looks like, an AD or an A3 or something. That's the noise gate. If you want to shut the noise gate off, you key the push to talk and press the Vox again, and it'll shut off. Now, I believe the noise gate is supposed to, if you're trying to listen to a signal and there's a lot of noise, it's kind of like the squelch. It'll turn. It's like a gate. It turns the static on and off. How much static will come in, how much static will go out. I believe that's supposed to make it a little less staticky, so you can hear stations that are far away or very distant. So that's the noise gate. I've never used it. And just while we're here, this flashlight. See how it says fixed. Fixed is on all the time. Hang on. Flashlight. So you press the flashlight button, you get fixed, push down. Now see it says SOS in the bottom. And if I press it again, I get fast. So that's the fast flash. So if you press flashlight, that's fast, that's flash, and that's fixed, which means on all the time, and that's SOS. So those are the flashlight features. And now I've got to see if I can shut there we go. Shut that off. So those are the flashlight features. Okay, I've got this set up for power. I'm using that adapter they gave me, the TNC to antenna. I've got this going into a dummy load, so we're not sending a signal out to the world and bothering people. And I've got that on high power. Now, I got to tell you, this is radio number 1. Let me tell you how foolish I am. I bought this, and I watched a YouTube video. Don't watch YouTube videos. You can watch mine, but don't watch everybody else's. So I'm watching YouTube, and a guy shows you how to go into the service menu. And once you got into the service menu, you can change the power. And you can crank the power up. You can change the modulation. You can do all kinds of things that you're not supposed to do. So I said, hey, wow, I can turn the power up. That's great. You know, the difference between, say it came at 3.5 watts. The difference between 3.5 and 4.5 watts, you're not going to notice any difference whatsoever on range. But when you start going up past, say, 3.30 watts, it's detrimental to the battery. It'll kill the battery so incredibly fast It's unbelievable. Or it'll make, if you get the modulation wrong, it'll make so much static and distortion that it's pretty much useless. So first thing I did is I watched that video, and I thought, wow, that's easy. I'm going to turn the wattage up. So I went and I played, and I turned the modulation up to like 100%. Now they don't say 100%, or they have numbers, and like 3.5, 3.4, 3.3. The lower you go, the more modulation. Same with the power. I think the power is like 6.8, and the lower you go, 6.7, 6.6, 6.6. The lower you go, the higher the wattage is. And then you can change the low power setting and the high power setting. Well, I changed everything. And I went out, and it's not doing very well. It does okay, but it doesn't even compare to when I first got it. When I first got it, it was just crystal clear. It had better range, crystal clear sound. This thing was doing fantastic. And then after I changed it, it was terrible. So I called up President, and I said, "Hey guys, I'm sorry. I played with the settings. They weren't very happy." Anyhow, I said, "Could you give me the settings so I could put it back to what it's supposed to be?" And because engineered to be the very best, what they do is when they build these, each President Randy, actually all their President radios, they put them on an oscilloscope. They have all kinds of very expensive, very sophisticated machinery. And what they do is every radio is different, and they have an actual human that will play with the oscilloscope, play with all the equipment, and he'll spend quite a bit of time tuning this, and he'll get the modulation and the power perfect. And he'll get that engineered to be the best. He'll get that to be the best it can be. And that way, the batteries will last you a long time, and the modulation will be crystal clear, and people can hear you well, and everything will work great. So he couldn't give me the specs on it. So because he couldn't give me the specs, and I don't have a oscilloscope and all this fancy equipment, I bought another Randy, and I took the Randy and I put the specs from the second Randy into the first one. So that was so then I took Randy number 2, and I copied the specs from number 2 onto number 1. Well, it still sounded terrible. I mean, oh my God, was that terrible? So you know what I did? I bought Randy number 3, and the specs on Randy 3 were completely different. So now I'm stuck with this one. So this one here, I use this one mostly for receiving. I didn't play with the receive, but I've got it hooked up. Let's see what it does. So I'm going to put that on low L. And this is the one I played with, so I don't think it means anything. All right, it's dead keys at 1.53. All right. Swings. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2. There it is. Testing 1, 2, 3. I get that on average peak. Peak is in. Yeah. All right. So I'm not putting out much wattage on low. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. About 3 or 4 watts. Now we're going to go on high. All right, I've got that on high. So I've never played with any of the other ones, and I'll never play with any of them again. This one is 4.5. Top screen. 4.47. And the peak. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Test, 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 test. You can see the 10 here. The next line is 20. So if the next line is 20, the next line up here is 20 watts. So we're right between the 10 and the 20. So I'm figuring I'm about 15 on peak. So I shouldn't have grabbed this one. Let me grab a different Randy, and we'll see what the factory is on one that hasn't been. Okay, I've got Randy number 2. This one I haven't monkeyed with. Let's see what we got. All right, we're on L. See the bottom down there? It says L. All right, the low power. 1.15. Low power is 1.15. Test, 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 test. Maybe it swings up to 4 watts. Now we're going to put it on high power. All right, we're on high power. And we'll go up top meter. 3.72. 3.72, that's good. Let me get a tone on there and we'll see what it does. Huh. Now, don't ask me how on earth I'm going to hold everything. All right, if I was talking on here, here's 10 watts. The top is actually showing, the top is bouncing around to 10 and 12, but the peak meter is showing right around 10 watts, maybe a little more when I talk to it. Can never get this foolish thing to stop. So I guess I'll stop this and okay, now we've got Randy number 3. And again, I haven't monkeyed with this one. This is on low watts, low power. 1.15. 1.15 on low watts. Let's turn it on high watt. High watts. Dead key. Can't get those lines out of it. The lines are not on normally, it's just on the phone. 3.78. 3.78. If I try it now, I'm going to try to modulate with it. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Audio. Test. We're between the 10 and the 20, so I guess about 14 watts. I'm going to try this again. Let's see. All right. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Test. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Test. Test. I'd say that looks about 12 or 13 watts, which is pretty good. And dead keys 3/7/8. Most of my radios are about 3.3, maybe 3.2, 3.1. So for the Randy to be 3.7 is fantastic. And I'll see if I can see what it can swing up to. Let's just see on the digital meter. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Test. Test. Can't see it. The digital meter does not respond fast enough to actually do it. Testing, 1, 2, 3, test. But the peak, like I say, between the 10 and that next line, that's 10 and then 20, so that's about 15 watts. Not bad. I've got a fourth meter. For the heck of it, we'll look at 4. Okay, this is number 4. Now, number 4 is an FCC. Oh, number 4 is an FCC number 2. One of these, I think maybe number 3. Oh, number 2. Anyhow, one of these is not an. One of these is just an Randy FCC. It's not a Randy II. I got a deal on eBay, and I don't really care about FM so much. I think I got one for like $45, but it didn't have a charger or a antenna. So I use the HYS antenna on that all the time. No point in buying the other. All right, we're on low. We're on number 4. I use 4 out in the field all the time, and we're on low wattage. 1.18. 1.18. Let's see what it swings to. Test, test, test. Huh. Test, 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 test. Boy, that does a terrible job. You know, when I talk, these lines should go up to show me my modulation. Test, test, test. You can see I've only got one line showing up. Very surprised at that. Let's try high watts. Okay, we're on high watts. 3.83. And as far as modulation, testing, 1, 2, 3, test, 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 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, test, test, test. Maybe 12 watts on that. Now, when I press that key, yeah, I get full bars on the side. I bought these off of eBay. Low power may be a problem on number 4. I'm going to have to look into that. I'm going to try a tone one more time. I know these tones are nothing but a royal pain in the neck, but that's supposed to be how you do it. So we're going to try, I'm going to try a tone on it one more time, and let me see what I get. Testing, 1, 2, 3, test, 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 1, 2, 3. No, we're staying like 11 or 12 watts. So I think number 3, excuse me, Randy number 4, dead keys 3.7. They all seem to be about 3.7 on the high wattage, and they all seem to be swinging about between 10 and 13 watts modulating. So that's the power test. We know what we got. We know what we've got for power. All right, I'm going to take them out to the field, and I'm going to go 1 mile, and then I'm going to go 2 miles, and then 3, then 3.5, and then 4. And we'll see how we do on that. And then after I get that done, I'm going to hook one up outside here on a picnic table, and I'm going to aim a camera at it, and I'm going to go 1 mile and then 2 miles using the HYS antenna, and I'll see how it sounds, handheld CB, talking to a handheld CB, and see how that comes in. But the range test I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try to talk to my base station. Now, my base station is about the best. My base station is a QT60, and that QT60 is about the best receive radio and fantastic radio. I've got an Antron 99 that is 48 feet in the air to the tip of the Antron 99, so about 50 feet. So it's about 50 feet up in the air with a really great receiving base station. So like I say, I'll go out 1 mile, 2 miles, 3, 3.5, and 4, and I'll aim the camera right here so we can see what kind of signal strength we get. So let's go find out what we do. Okay, I forgot something. I try to test all these when I plug them in. So now you can see the little red lights on. I have this plugged in. I actually plug them into my power supply, and my power supply puts out 13.8 volts. 13.8 volts, just like your car battery does. What I have found is most of my handheld walkie-talkies, when you plug them into the cigarette lighter, you actually get another watt or so. Sometimes you get 2 watts. You get a lot more power because now we're putting 13.8 volts into it instead of, say, the battery puts out 12 volts. Most of my handheld walkie-talkies, they seem to put out about 12 volts. So plugging them into the cigarette lighter always increases my watts. So I got this plugged into the cigarette lighter, and I got it on high. Let's see what we get. Looks like 3.67. 3.67. That's on Randy number 3. Randy number 3 puts out 3.67. I don't think it's going to change the. I keep pressing the push to talk button, and down at the bottom is the high power and low power, and I always wind up pressing that high low power. I actually wish high and low were on the buttons here instead of on the side. But let me, I'm on high. Let me just see if I can see what it swings to. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Test test test. Modulation's exactly the same. So whether it's plugged in or I'm running off a battery, the power is exactly the same. We're testing the Randy low power, 1 mile from the base factory antenna. Testing the Randy high power, 1 mile from the base factory antenna. I guess, surprise. When it's on low power, it only gives you one bar on transmit. I thought it was a problem with it. I use low power too often. Testing the President Randy FCC Randy II low power, 1 mile from the base with the 51-inch Shrika antenna. Now we're testing the President Randy II 1 mile from the base, high power with the 51-inch Shrika antenna. We're testing the Randy low power, 1 mile from the base factory antenna. Testing the Randy high power, 1 mile from the base factory antenna. Testing the President Randy FCC Randy II low power, 1 mile from the base with 51-inch Shrika antenna. Now we're testing the President Randy II 1 mile from the base, high power with the 51-inch Shrika antenna. Testing the President Randy on low power with the factory antenna, 2 miles from the house. Testing the President Randy 2 miles from the house, factory antenna, low power. Testing the President Randy II FCC 2 miles from the house, high power on the factory antenna. Testing the President Randy II FCC walkie-talkie 2 mile range test from the house. We're on low power, channel 14, test 1 2 3, 3 2 1. Testing the President Randy II FCC high power, 2 miles from the house with the 51-inch Shrika antenna. Testing the President Randy low power factory antenna, 2 miles from the house. Testing the President Randy 2 miles from the house, factory antenna, low power. Testing the President Randy II FCC 2 miles from the house, high power on the factory antenna. Testing the President Randy II FCC walkie-talkie 2 from the house, power 14, test 1 2 3, 3 2 1. President Randy II FCC high power, 2 miles per hour, 51-inch antenna. Range test. President Randy FCC Randy II, low power, 3 miles from the house, using a factory Randy antenna. Range testing, 3 miles, factory Randy antenna. This is the President Randy II FCC, 3 miles from the house. President Randy II FCC, low power with the 51-inch Hystrika antenna. We are 3 miles from the house doing a range test. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. President Randy FCC number 2, range test, high power, 3 miles from the house, using the 51-inch Hystrika the antenna. Testing 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
President Randy FCC number 2, from the house, 51-inch. Testing 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. President Randy, 3.5 miles from the base station. We're using a 51-inch telescopic antenna, 3.5 miles from the house. High power, testing 1. Rubber ducky antenna, high power. President Randy, rubber ducky antenna, 4 miles out, high power. Test 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. We're testing the President Randy FCC2 AM/FM handheld walkie-talkie. We've got the 51-inch Hystrika antenna, 51-inch Hystrika antenna. We're 4 miles from the base station, 4 miles from the base station. Testing the President Randy on high power. Testing 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Test, test, test. President Randy, FCC2, 51-inch antenna, 4 miles from the base station. Test, test, test.
I am just leaving to do my range test. I've got a camera pointed at a Randy. I've got the Randy on FM, channel 31, and compensator is turned on. I'm going 2 miles in that direction, then I'm going to go 3 miles in that direction. And I've got that tall, I don't know if you can see that tall antenna, but I've got the tall antenna on it, and we'll see what happens. Okay, got the President Randy, got the compensator turned on, channel 31, high power. So I'm going to use in the FM, I'm going to use the rubber ducky antenna. Testing the President Randy. President Randy, number 4, rubber duck antenna, high power, 1 mile from the house. We're on FM, and we've got the compensator. We've got the, whatever the CD is turned on. I'll have to think of that word. Now, I don't know if it's going to get it or not. Let's see. Now I've got Randy number 3. It's windy out. I don't want to wreck my camera today. Compander, that's what it's called. Alright, I am at the 1 mile location. I've got President Randy number 3 President Randy number 3. We've got the telescoping antenna on it. We've got the compander, compresses and decompresses. Compander's turned on, channel 31, high power, telescoping antenna, 1 mile away, FM. Testing the President Randy. President Randy number 4, rubber duck antenna, high power, 1 mile from the house. We're on FM, and we've got the compensator. We've got the, whatever the CD is turned on. I'll have to think of that word. All right, I am at the 1 mile location. I've got President Randy number 3. President Randy number 3. We've got the telescoping antenna on it. We've got the compander, compresses and decompresses. Compander's turned on, channel 31, high power, telescoping antenna, 1 mile away, FM. Truck 8 leaving the 1 mile mark. Where you going? Alright, we've got the President Randy II, this is number 3. President Randy number 3. We've got the compander on, compander's turned on. We've got the telescoping, the 51-inch high HYS telescoping antenna. Compander's turned on. We're on FM, channel 31. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. 3, 3, 2, 1. Test, test, test. 2 miles out. 2 miles out. HYS antenna. President Randy number 3. All right, we've got the President Randy number 4. President Randy 4, I'm using the rubber duck antenna. I just want to see if the rubber duck antenna will go 2 miles to the other President Randy. So 2 miles out, President Randy rubber duck antenna, channel 31 FM with the compander turned on. Compander's turned on. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Rubber duck antenna. President Randy number 4. Alright, we've got the President Randy II, number 3. President Randy number 3. We've got the compander on. Compander's turned on. We've got the telescoping, the 51-inch high HYS telescoping antenna. Compander's turned on. We're on FM, channel 31. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. 3, 3, 2, 1, test, test, test. 2 miles out. 2 miles out. HYS antenna. President Randy number 3. We've got the President Randy number 4. President Randy 4, I'm using the rubber duck antenna. I just want to see if the rubber duck antenna will go 2 miles to the other President Randy. 2 miles out. President Randy rubber duck antenna. Channel 31 FM with the compander turned on. Compander turned on. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Rubber duck antenna. President Randy number 4. Truck 8. We're leaving the 2 mile scene. Truck 8 leaving the 2 mile scene. Channel 31 FM without the compander. Okay, we're at the 3 mile scene. 3 mile mark. I can't imagine us going 3 miles, but who knows? Hit something here. This is the President Randy number 3. President Randy number 3. We're at the 3 mile location. We've got the HYS antenna, 51-inch telescoping antenna, 3 miles away. Compander's turned on, channel 31 FM. Test 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Test, 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 test. Just for the heck of it. I got this other one. So I'm going to try the telescoping. I'm going to try the rubber duck. We'll see. You never know. All right, we're at the 3 mile location. President Randy number 4. with the rubber duck antenna. Rubber duck antenna, location number 3 miles away, rubber duck antenna. President Randy, hopefully talking to the President Randy. We'll see what happens.
Truck 8, we are leaving the 3-mile location. Leaving the 3-mile location, Truck 8. Test 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
I did this Randy on the worst possible day you could do it. It was foolish to do it. It was foolish to try to do it the day I did it. So at 3.5 miles, I made it. It was just thousands of people talking. It was so much static, so many people talking. Back and forth, everybody was. I went out on Memorial Day, and it was just thousands of people talking. Too many that I couldn't talk over them with that little handheld. So what I did is I went out at nighttime, and you're going to see the 4-mile range test. I did the 4-mile range test months and months later with a different radio, but I went out at 11 o'clock at night, dead quiet, not a soul. The whole country was just quiet, crisp and clear and quiet. So you can see when I did the original 3.5 miles and the 4 miles, I was getting like 3 pounds of signal strength. When I went out at 11 o'clock at night, I was given 7 pounds of signal strength to my radio. So that Randy really did a fantastic job. I've probably missed a million things. If I missed some features that you like, leave it in the comments. I'd like to know more about it myself. Music Man has a friend of mine, Music Man, Steve also. He's got a President Randy. I bet you he could do a great review. He does these reviews. I'm sure he'll comment at the bottom. He does some fantastic reviews also. And I think he's got a Randy review. I'll have to watch his review and see how he did. But anyhow, just adding this in there. Okay, well that was all the features and the range. We've done everything. Some of it's pretty impressive. Some of it's not. It's a great radio. It's more radio than I can ever use. It's got more stuff than I'll ever be able to figure out how to use it. It's really great. I've had it for 2 years. Every time I take it out to the field, I go to press the push to talk button, and I always wind up pressing the high-low power. Now, my Cobra is one of my favorite. Cobra HH50 is one of my favorite radios. If you want to change the power on that, you have to press function and the middle button, and that changes the power from low to high. But the Randy, every time I press the push to talk, I always get my thumb on the wrong thing. Big thumbs I get. Big thumbs, small radio. I always wind up pressing the wrong thing. Then 2 or 3 times, I was working with my friends. They were on the other side of this lake, and we were trying to get a boat. And anyhow, we were going back and forth. And all of a sudden, I can't remember, I pressed something. I think I tried to get the squelch adjusted. I have a terrible time with the squelch on the Randy. All my other radios have a little knob at the top that I can just turn back and forth. Kind of like the knob at the top. But anyhow, the guy was on the other side of the lake, and I couldn't catch him. So I tried everything, and I couldn't get him. And finally, what I had done, he had a regular AM radio, one of the old Radio Shacks. I had that fancy-dancy Randy. Well, I had pressed FM, so I was in FM mode, and he was on AM mode. I've had that happen to me 2 or 3 times. So I think if you used it every day, it'd probably be the best radio ever. For me, I use it sporadically. I try out all my different handhelds. I like simplicity. Most of the radios I really like have power, volume, squelch, channel up and channel down, and I'm happy with that. I'm not a big feature fan. So if you like features, it's the best radio ever. And it's certainly got everything. Now, the other thing I did find, and I don't know if you noticed this in the range test, I took out 8. I went out on the worst day you could possibly go out. The conditions were absolutely horrendous. I shouldn't have even gone out that day, but I did. I took out 8 radios that day. I wanted to see how all of them performed. The Randy with the rubber duck antenna, it blew everything else's rubber duck antenna away. I've gone 3, even 4, I've gone 4 miles with that with the rubber duck, and I could hear it on my base station pretty good. The rubber duck on the Randy is fantastic. Now the high shrieker antenna that I love beats the Randy. This is definitely better than, it beats the rubber duck. This is without a doubt, this great big tall one sounds better and clearer and doubles the range of the rubber duck. But I put this HYS antenna on the Randy, and it was better than the Randy's factory rubber duck. But I took 8 radios out, and out of 8 radios, I think the Randy only did better than 1 or 2. The Randy was at the bottom of the barrel using this antenna. But if I was 4 miles out and I put the rubber duck on it, this thing is loud and clear at 4 miles. The Randy with the rubber duck is not. I could just make it out. Whereas all my other radios with this antenna were a little better. So I'm not complaining about the Randy. The Randy is one hell of a radio. It really is. It's just not my favorite. Not my favorite. It's a fantastic radio. If I was to play with it every day, oh yeah, I'd get used to that. I could get used to that really. If I only had one radio to pick, I'd probably pick the Randy. So that's my review. It did pretty good. Now, I used the compander, and I tried talking to Randy. And I tried the 1 mile, I tried the 2 miles, I tried the 3 mile. And I did FM with the compander. Now, supposedly the compander, if you turn the compander on, you won't be able to talk to anybody else out there because you have to have a compander on both ends, the receive and the transmit, for it to work. Well, my truck picked it up fine. My truck talked to the one at the house, my pickup to the Randy. So that worked. So I don't know, that compander didn't seem to do anything to me. I wasn't happy about it. Then I had never done FM. I thought I'd try, because it's crystal clear, so I thought I'd try FM to FM, handheld to handheld. And again, you saw the video. The 3 mile mark, it did make the 3 mile, but you couldn't have a conversation at the 3 mile mark, even though it did make it. But I've done that with a lot of my other handhelds, handheld to handheld, 1 mile, 2 miles, and 3 miles. And I got to say, some of my other handhelds with this HYS antenna seem to do better than the Randy. Now, I have done the Randy before, and I've done the Randy on AM. I think the Randy does fantastic on AM. And I think that test I did out here, handheld to handheld, with the compander on and the FM on, I don't think I did the Randy any justice. I don't think FM works as well as the AM. I have nothing but there's hundreds of miles of forest all around me, tall trees. So I'm going through these tall trees. The AM, maybe it bounces over the trees, and the FM, it didn't. But anyhow, that's the way the test went, and take it for what it is. That's the Randy. Nice test, beautiful little tiny radio. I do like it. Not my favorite, but absolutely a nice, beautiful radio. I appreciate you watching. This video went far too long. I apologize. I just don't know how to make a short video, I guess. Anyhow, thank you again. Hope you watch again someday.